Okay, this one is long overdue. Sorry to have kept you waiting. I wanted to talk a little bit about what it looks like to be coaching with me, because I know I talk a lot about sort of the type of topics that I work on in my coaching, which is a lot focused on figuring out your true and your way of doing things rather than living up to expectations or what you think things should look like. But I wanted to talk a little bit about what a coaching trajectory with me looks like. And what's important, I think, there is to, as a starting point, talk about what coaching is versus other modalities that are close to it. So when you work with me as a coach, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a mentor, I'm not a consultant. Well, I'm also a consultant, but in my one-on-one coaching with people, my starting point is that I'm here to help you find your truth. I'm here to mirror you. I'm here sitting with my toolbox of coaching tools to help you figure out what makes most sense for you. But I'm not a therapist. I'm not going to dig into your past to see what happened in your life to get you where you are now. My starting point is really, who are you right now and where is it that you want to go? And so in that sense, it's different from therapy. It's different from mentoring or from consulting in the sense that when I'm working as a coach, my approach is not to tell you what to do as a consultant would do. My approach is not to tell you what in my experience is the thing that I did, and so I would tell you to do the same. I'm really here to figure out what's the truth for you. So it's a more actually, coaching might be one of the few places in your life where my opinion as a coach doesn't matter. I know we humans are just judgment machines. We're so focused on telling other people what we think is true or making assumptions about people. And, I'm human, I do that too. But in my coaching, none of that matters. So it might be one of the only places in your life or your experience that you can be truly open. You can truly just explore what's true for you without worrying what I think of it. And obviously, coaching conversations are confidential. I'm not telling anyone who my clients are, and definitely not what's going on in their life. So you're really safe to explore. And from the other side, what's really helpful for me is if you as a coaching client are as open as possible. So I never want to hear the Instagram version of your life. I really want to hear what's really going on. And the conversation is a lot more direct in that sense than what you're probably used to in your day-to-day conversation. So from my side, that might look like that I poke you when I hear you talk about something and think that you're giving me the Instagram version or that you're talking over something that might be important. And from your side, that might look like when I ask you a question or I propose a tool or propose a certain direction in our conversation, that you can tell me that that's not where you want to go. Because the coaching is really a space that we co-create. It's not you living up to my expectations, it's really you doing what you think is most interesting, most relevant, most important to you in the moment. That also means that we'll together shape the goals that you set for your coaching, because I love using your goals as a starting point, and that might look like practical goals. Maybe you want to quit your job and find out what's next for you. Maybe you want to step up in your company and step up in a new leadership role. Maybe you want to go on a sabbatical. Like, it could be all kinds of practical things that you want to move forward in your life. And often related to those goals are mindset type of goals. So maybe you want to become more confident. Maybe you want to worry less about what other people think you should do and connect more to what's important for you. Maybe you want to stop people pleasing. So practical goals, and also kind of the way you show up in the world that you want to change a little bit. And of course, as a coach, I'm also here to keep you accountable for moving forward. We're not just talking about what your goals are and how philosophically interesting that is. I really want to set things in motion for you so that you make changes in your life. And we'll be checking that throughout the coaching trajectory. Speaking of the trajectory, so coaching with me is quite flexible. I really noticed that different people prefer different approaches. So when you start coaching with me, you make a commitment to work with me for about 3 months, where usually you'll do bi-weekly sessions. So every other week you'll have a session with me, and then in between you'll do some homework like exercises, like reflections on how you show up in your day-to-day, or actual exercises that you share with me. And then after that, we'll look how much more you want. So for some people, that means that after 3 months, the coaching trajectory is over. It's been enough. They got their insights. They moved forward. And for some people, it might mean that they like to continue the coaching bi-weekly or monthly or even quarterly. So it's actually really flexible to see how, what your coaching trajectory looks like. It's really been ranging for me from people doing a single walking coaching session, which is a bit of a longer session where we go for a walk and explore a specific theme, to people working with me for 1.5 years and still going strong. And I know this can make you worry about like, how do I go about breaking up at the end of a coaching trajectory? Because it might feel awkward to, maybe tell me after a while that you feel like it's been enough with the coaching. That's really the least thing to worry about. Very often, or actually almost always, we'll both feel like, oh yeah, we've achieved the goals, or your goals shifted, but you're working on something that's interesting and you no longer need the coaching. So we'll kind of tune into when that moment is. I'll always be keeping track of your coaching goals along the way to see where we are, and check in with you if you feel like you want go deeper, or that you feel you've achieved enough. What else do I want to say about coaching with me? I think one other thing that might be interesting is that often people come to me for coaching around work-related topics. So like I mentioned in the beginning, they want to shift jobs but don't know where to start, or step up in a leadership role but lack the confidence. But for me, the way I see coaching is it's really more of a holistic approach. I always take into account your whole life. I don't believe that you're a different person at work or at home. It's one thing and it all impacts each other. So it's very common for me to see that even though we start talking about, work, we might end up also talking about what's happening in your personal relationship, what your work-life balance is, where in the world you want to live. So other bigger themes that also tie into this question of how to live life on your own terms. I hope that was insightful. I hope you got a bit of a better insight of what coaching with me can look like. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you.